Gabriel was a painter of immense talent but little renown. His work was precise, calculated, and cold, technically brilliant but devoid of emotion. That all changed the day he met Leela. She was a dancer, her movements fluid and hypnotic, her presence magnetic. Gabriel saw her perform at a small theater and was instantly captivated. After the show, he approached her, his hands trembling as he asked if she would sit for him. Leela, intrigued by his intensity, agreed. From the moment she stepped into his studio, everything changed. Gabriel's paintings came alive with color and passion. Leela's grace, her fire, her mystery, she became his muse, the heart of his art. Critics raved about his new work, calling it revolutionary. Galleries clamored to exhibit his pieces, and collectors lined up to buy them. But for Leela, the reality was far less glamorous. At first, she was flattered by Gabriel's attention, by the way he immortalized her on canvas. But over time, she began to feel like a shadow of herself. Gabriel painted her as he saw her, ethereal, untouchable, perfect, but he never truly saw her. He didn't notice when she was tired after a long rehearsal, or when she was frustrated with her own creative struggles. He didn't ask about her dreams, her fears, her past to him. She was an idea, not a woman. One evening, after hours of sitting in silence while Gabriel painted, Leela finally spoke up. "Do you even know who I am?" she asked, her voice trembling with emotion. Gabriel looked up, startled. "Of course I do," he said. "You're my muse. You're everything to me." Leela shook her head. "No, Gabriel, I'm not your everything. I'm just me, and you don't even know who that is." The next day, she was gone. Gabriel searched for her, but she had left no trace. Heartbroken, he threw himself into his work, creating masterpiece after masterpiece. Each painting was a tribute to Leela, a desperate attempt to capture what he had lost. His fame grew, but his heart remained empty. Years passed, and Gabriel became an old man. His paintings hung in galleries around the world, but he rarely left his studio. He spent his days painting the same face over and over, Leela's face. But no matter how many times he painted her, he could never quite get it right. There was always something missing, something he couldn't quite capture. One day, a young woman visited his studio. She was an art student, eager to meet the legendary Gabriel. As she looked at his paintings, she noticed the recurring face. "Who is she?" she asked. Gabriel's eyes filled with tears. "She was my muse," he said, "the love of my life, but I never really knew her, and now she's gone." The young woman hesitated, then said, "Maybe she wasn't meant to be known. Maybe she was just meant to inspire you." Gabriel shook his head. "No, she was meant to be loved, and I failed her." That night, Gabriel painted one last portrait of Leela. This time, he didn't try to idealize her. He painted her as she was, flawed, human, real. When he was finished, he stepped back and looked at the painting. For the first time, he felt like he had truly seen her. The next morning, Gabriel was found in his studio, his brush still in his hand. On the easel was the portrait of Leela, her eyes filled with a quiet sadness and a hint of a smile. It was his greatest work and his last.